Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Cassandra Williamson. I am here in Northport, Alabama, just outside of Tuscaloosa, home of the University of Alabama and Roll Tide country, of which I am not really into that much. I live here. I've got children that work there, and stuff like that, and all that. Been associated with it, doing some research and stuff and everything there on campus. But anyway, so it is another amazing and beautiful day here in Alabama. There's still an awful lot of red clay. If you can probably guess what I mean by that one, right? So anyway, I'm reviewing some notes. I just wrote down a few little sticky notes. And I don't know why I'm jittery like that, because I'm going through a program that lets me use my iPhone and puts it over on the computer so that you can see it on live streaming. So anyway, let me see what the day is. Today is the 18th of October, 2023. And this is our noontime show, the Action News and Talk at noon Eastern. And there's a lot we need to be covering today, but it's the usual things, usual suspects that we're talking about, because it's just become such a real and very dangerous thing that if we don't talk about it, then and we don't put a spotlight on it, well, then we end up with a huge problem come election day in November 2024. And then if that conservative takes over on January the 20th at noon in 2025, then we are up the darn creek without all the paddles and oars. They're just somewhere off to the side. But we'll be fighting for a generation over what could happen if that happens on January the 20th, 2025. So, it's really just that pressing. It's that dangerous. So how do we do this, though? How do we go about fixing it? So I do want to say I want to give a big shout out to my friend Angela Brightfeather, who I just got off the phone with, and these sticky notes are from her. And I appreciate Angela and her willingness to give me some feedback, and also to offer some ideas and suggestions of things that she knows works and that has worked in the past. These are different days. There's no doubt about it. But it's still the same kind of thing where one group of Americans wants to disenfranchise another group of Americans because, we aren't theocratic fascist. And I don't use that term with any kind of disdain or anything. It's more like, I use it because I've thought about that. I've looked at it, and that's actually what, Matt Walsh calls himself the theocratic fascist. And somebody suggested it might have been in sarcasm, but I don't think so, because everything Matt does is done thoughtfully. So he's self-aware enough to claim that as his own label. That's theocratic fascist. The rest of you out there, if you're over there at the Heritage Foundation, Kevin Roberts and Christopher Rufo and all those different people, they don't have the kahunas like Matt Walsh apparently to admit who you really are. That's an unfortunate side effect of thinking that you know what you're thinking, and then also thinking that you know what is best for somebody else because, well, just because. I don't know. It's one of the quandaries that we live in. But I do want to start out with telling you this. So Angela and I had a really good conversation, and I appreciate that. And first thing is, we have got to make sure that we rile up our people, get people stirred up enough that we're able to go vote, get off our asses, go vote. It's important that we do that. Get registered. Make sure your voting registration information is all correct. Get out there, go vote. And, and I don't care which party you register for, but whenever it comes to elections in November 2024, make sure you pick the side that doesn't want to disenfranchise other Americans because they just disagree with them. Because that's what they want to do. And it wouldn't matter to me if it was left, right, or whatever. Whichever side was going after a group of Americans to disenfranchise them because they don't like them, they don't believe who they are is real or whatever. I don't care if it came from the left or the right. I'd be sitting here telling you the exact same thing. Make sure you can vote. Now, another thing that we also discussed in our phone conversation just prior to this was the Equality Act. We need to get the Equality Act up there and running. It needs to be passed out of the House and out of the Senate. It's already passed through the Senate, I think, but and then get it on the president's desk. But until we take control of the House and maintain control and keep control of the Senate and make sure that we still have somebody who is favorable, that who agrees that all Americans should actually have the right to live freely in their own country, who actually do fall under the entire protections of the U.S. Constitution, and we're not trying to disenfranchise a group, claiming they're not real people enough or they're unnatural. Yeah, well, those aren't my terms, by the way. Those aren't my terms. That's in that playbook that you know about, or you should know about. And if you don't, you need to get off your butt and go read it. And it's really that serious, folks. There are a couple of people out here who have been talking about it. Aaron in the Morning talks about it in that program. There's Lisa Miller, Leeza, Lisa Miller, an attorney, also talks about it and has a really good program about it, as a matter of fact. And I watched one of her video clips last night. And I mean, hers is much more organized than what I'm doing, because I have a tendency just to go all over the place and mention stuff and talk about it, because it just is, the intensity has to be there. And if it's not, you're wasting your darn breath. So we've got to get the Equality Act out of the House, get the compromise bill put together between the House and the Senate, send it to the president's desk. But we're not going to be able to do that until we have control of the House and reintroduce the bill in the Senate for vote again next in 2025. We've got to have control of all three parts of this government in order to get I'm sorry. We've got to have that kind of control of the House and the Senate and the presidency to be able to get the Equality Act out. Now, part of this is we've got to make sure that this is one of the big things that our candidates are talking about. We've got to make sure that this is one of those topics. Make it an issue, as Angela said, make it an issue with the president. We've got to make sure that our president actually is standing behind and will sign the Equality Act if it comes across his desk. And we've got to make sure that it actually does cover all sexual orientation, gender identity, DE&I even. Put all of that in there. It has to be there. It's got to be there, because otherwise, every executive order that comes out through there can do something differently and apply it a different way. Every policy, rule, regulation, or whatever can be worded in a certain way to either nullify the rights of this other marginalized group of people, or, whatever. So we've got to make sure that we get at least that law. Now, we all know how these laws work. Yes, you might be able to pass that darn law, but the other party, the other group of people who are opposed to it, if they get in power, they're going to start whittling away at it. They'll make one little thing here and they'll take away some of the influence of it there. They'll run it up through the Supreme Court and make sure that it, and try to nibble at the edges of it wherever they can. And if they nibble enough, they've got the thing down to just nothing left. But that can take 10 years because of the way the system works. But they could also issue a request that the Supreme Court put a hold on it, which the attorneys general of all of these states have already shown they're more than willing to do. I mean, all you have to do is look at the 19 attorneys general that signed on to joining Ron DeSantis's team down there in Florida and trying to make sure that gender affirming care is not covered for anyone in Medicaid, anyone of any age. They passed that, it was stopped, but you got the attorneys general from 19 other states joining with the present and current Florida administration, trying to make sure that, we don't get care. So if they can do that in Florida and it actually survives the challenge, guess what happens? Those other 19 states will do the same thing. They'll go to going after any insurance coverage for trans people. They'll take it away. They've already shown their hand. They're telling us who they are. But here's the funniest part about it. It's not even funny, really. It's sad. It's horrible. It's horrifying. But the part of this that's really horrifying is that they've laid out a strategy plan. They've told us what they want to do. They told us how they're going to go about doing it. And they've implemented this plan and kicked it into gear. And they started that, when? Well, April of 2022, they actually started working on Project 2025. But prior to that and around that kind of time frame there, it was kind of disjointed. The strategy, the narrative that was being put out there by all these different states and all these different things, it was kind of disjointed. They didn't have an overarching strategy or a plan to do things. Now, though, that is not the case, folks. That is not the case. They have a plan. They're working the plan. They're already working it. They're already working it. So we have to find a way to overcome that. One, these are extremists. Okay, they're extremists, but they're in the mainstream right now. Why on earth do you think the Heritage Foundation is standing behind Jim Jordan to be Speaker of the House? He's one of theirs. Bought, sold, and property stamped. I mean, it's like, click, got it. You can read across his forehead, Project 2025. As a matter of fact, if somebody could do that with an image every time Jim Jordan shows up on a screen somewhere, that across his forehead it says Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation, or a patch on across his shirt, or a big logo or something, the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, that's what we need to do, is figure out some way to actively interact with those photos and images in real time. Just go ahead and brand them, bought and branded. That's what I was trying to come up with a minute ago. Bought, branded, stamped, whatever. But no, Jim Jordan is definitely in the pocket of the Heritage Foundation, because they're the ones who've been calling up everybody, kind of threatening them, not threatening, but, kind of cajole them into supporting Jordan for Speaker of the House. They're making all those calls around the country. They really pissed off a lot of people. In essence, they may have defeated themselves. I don't know if they've had an election there yet. It's after 12. I think they were going to start at 11 Eastern this morning and kind of reconsider. But while I'm talking here, I'm going to pull up C-SPAN and see if any conversation is going on over on the House floor. Here we go. Hold on a minute. Let me do this. So anyway, there's Jordan's in their pocket. And they want him badly. They want him badly in there. And if I use the vernacular of the person that they actually are worshiping, it's a bigly want. Lord, that's so stupid sounding. Oh, God, why did I even say that? It's a bigly want. Oh, my God. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know where that came from? Yeah, you know where it came from. Right, exactly. Let me see if I can pull up C-SPAN because I want to see what's going live right now in C-SPAN. On C-SPAN in the House. Live. That one's live. Where's the House? Did they even decide to hold it today? Senate session's live. Started at 9:30 Central Time. Nominee Jack Lew hearing in the Senate live online today. Let me see. House Speaker election coverage. That's live. Let me see if I can get this one. Hold on a minute. Here we go. Watch live. I may share this with you because, especially if they're voting, I just want. I'm going to turn that volume off while that's playing. Hold on a minute. So hold on. We're going to just let that play for a second. Okay, here we're live with C-SPAN. Oh, they're voting right now. Oh, you go. Let's see where this goes. They just started, though. This is going to go on for a while, 15, 20. They always say you got 15 minutes to vote on this floor, but have you ever seen them actually stop at 15 minutes and cut the vote off? No. I don't even know what that 15 minutes actually represents. I think the definition of 15 minutes might actually be 30 minutes. And in the House. So it's really just, I don't know. That's why that bothers me so much to think about this, is it's actually annoying to me. It's annoying to me because You can see what's going on. You can see what they're doing. They try to get one thing passed through, like Florida did, like K through 3 or 5 or whatever, and then they moved it to K through 12, and then now they're trying to go for K through death, banning stuff. And if you think the book bans coming out of places like Florida are really the height, that they epitomize the worst of America, if a conservative takes the darn White House and says, "So help me God," January the 20th of 2025, that book ban will look like those book bans across the country will look like that was child's play, because they will then take it and strike the words they don't like out of the whole of the federal enterprise. And if you take away the words, the identifiers for all these different groups of people, of Americans, make it so that you can't do any research to affect all of that kind of thing, well, guess what's going to happen? Effectively, it gets shut down and you get eliminated from the whole of the federal government. Our solution is we've got to make sure they don't get that. We've got to take back the House, period. We've got to have control of the House so we can get the Equality Act passed. That's all there is to it. Got to do that. So we have to make sure we get our people stirred up to vote. And that's crucial. You got to go vote, get registered, check to make sure that your registration is accurate. Make sure you have an ID, because you need to have that ID in most states now these days. You got to have an ID to be able to go vote. Make sure it's a valid current ID of some type, photo ID. But go vote whenever the time comes. Go vote. Vote in your primaries. Exercise your right to have an impact on the future of this country. And keep in mind the one thing I don't like, this is one of my big pet peeves, is when somebody says another American to actually qualify for the protections of the Constitution. That pisses me off. I don't know if it should you. That happens, folks. When you see one group of Americans saying that another group of Americans is anti-American, or that they're un-American or undeserving of protections of the Constitution, they have a right to say all those things. They're wrong, but they have a right to say it. So I don't want to hear anybody on our side claiming that another group of Americans is not American enough or anti-American, because no, they're definitely Americans. It's just they got their head screwed on upside down or something. Or they're sitting on their head or something. I don't know what's going on. It seems rational to them apparently, but whenever you start, the way you know it's not right, when you know it's not good, when you know that your thinking has strayed into the abyss, you know what it is? You know how to tell? If you find a way to disenfranchise another group of Americans, or to belittle them or dehumanize them, or make them the object of your hatred, even though you might call it, "Oh, we love you in Christ," kind of love and hate, but your actions say, "Oh, I'm trying to get rid of you entirely." Well, if you are doing that, then you've fallen in an abyss. It's as simple as that. If you are doing that, you're actually thinking that kind of stuff, that that group, those people right there, they aren't American enough. They aren't human enough to be protected by the Constitution. If you're thinking that, you need to rethink all of these things, because you have fallen into a really dark, deep abyss. And sadly, no matter how long the rope is we try to throw in after you to help you get pulled out of it, you come out of that abyss, you won't see it as black. It's dark in there. What we try to do to show you that we want every American to have all the rights and protections, no more and no less than everyone else. We're not asking for more. We're not asking for anything more than anybody else. And besides, rights is not a pie, folks. If you take a apple pie, your favorite apple pie from down here in the South, you got a la mode, put some ice cream on top of that kind of thing. But if you eat away at the apple pie, you eat away at the pie, parts of it starts disappearing. Well, rights are not like that. Other people can have rights just like you, and it does not take away from yours. But what we're seeing is this group of people out here, headed up by Kevin Roberts with the Heritage Foundation and Heritage, 70 plus other organizations, all standing together saying, we don't want to give you any rights because it takes away from ours. That's essentially what they're saying. If you have rights, then we have less rights. And they say that actually in kind of a roundabout way. They go in and say things like, no, you got the First Amendment protections. Oh, for instance, they started saying these words like, let me see. They go in and say, oh, Dr. Roberts goes in and says, we need to erase from the whole federal enterprise words like sexual orientation or identity, which is SOGI, SOGI, and then follow that up with diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI. Then the next 4 or 5 words all contain the word gender because they don't like that word. And then the next set of words are reproductive rights, reproductive health, abortion. And then they put a comma at the end and they go, the other word that could offend the First Amendment. Let me see. Let me just get my words that can offend the First Amendment rights of Americans. And you're thinking, we're Americans. All those labels that you just destroyed, all those people up there that you want to erase, all the people with, they have a sexual orientation too. They just refuse to accept it. They refuse to acknowledge that, they have a sexual orientation. They don't even like saying that. Or a gender identity. They have a gender identity too, but no, not going there. So for them to say that means they think that there are some people in the country who are undeserving of that their rights under the First Amendment aren't worthy of being protected too. And it also says that they think that this is that rights are like a pie, and if you give some from this group over here, and that's what they're saying, if you give some of these rights, some of those rights that apply to everyone under the First Amendment or any part of the Constitution for that matter, if you give some to someone, you're taking away from another. That's a load of horseshit, folks. That's a load of crock. It really is. No minority is asking for special treatment in any of those ways. No minority is asking for more than anyone else. We're asking for at least the very same as everybody else, which is a struggle to get that. So it's worth mentioning that we have to stand against that. We have to go vote. We have to take care of things, make sure that we can get the Equality Act passed in the House and the Senate and signed by the president, which means, one, you have to go vote to make sure that the people who are in the House actually are in agreement with this. And that includes some of the liberals and Democrats, too. If any of those people oppose the idea that every American should have equal rights under the law, under the Constitution, if they oppose something like that, or got their heads thinking that, it only applies to this group, well, they need to go too. Just to be clear, I don't care which party you're in or which ideologies you adhere to. If at any point in time you have animus toward another group that you're afraid they're taking something from you, stop already, folks. But we do need some other information too, though. We need some information to kind of back up some of the stuff that we're talking about. And Angela and I talked about this one, and actually, great ideas. I just wish there was some way to implement this across the entire nation. But we need to be adding things. The exit poll. It may take 1 or 2 elections to pull this thing off, but we need to. Some of the questions all these media people ask for exit polling after a person votes. And then somebody asks them a question. Well, we need to be putting on it. We need to also understand. We need to know the numbers. We want to know, for those who are willing to share, things like your gender and gender identity. Like, for instance, do you identify as male or female or other? And that's exactly what Angela said, and I agree with that. You need to figure out how to calculate these kind of things and show the impact. Show the people who are voting. If you got 3 or 4% of the people who identify themselves as other, then we have a good idea of what the national average is of voters. You can kind of extrapolate that to the nation, but you have to be real careful with that kind of stuff because there are limitations. So let me see. Right now, the vote is. Let me just share the screen over here. Let me go over. I'm watching it. We'll just share it for a second. And this is really boring and dry. You can see what the votes presently are for Jim Jordan. Who's with me? Let's go watch. Let me share the screen here. Share the screen. U.S. House of Representatives and
Texas.
I'm hoping you can hear the voices.
Jimenez. McCarthy.
Now look, you've already got 10 people who are listed as others. That's
Golden of Maine.
a good sign that Jordan's not going to win
Jeffries.
this round of voting either.
Goldman of New York. Jeffries.
Uh,
Gomez.
I could read that was on the bottom of that screen right
Jeffries.
there. Does not have the votes to be the third, it's third
Tony Gonzalez.
vote, whatever that is,
Scalise.
all that. So anyway, with 11 others, that's already telling you that he's not going to get
Vicente Gonzalez.
either. And the curious part,
Jeffries.
here's the funny part about it.
Good of Virginia.
The Heritage Foundation and all these people from around the country started
Jordan.
coming over representing
Gooden of Texas.
that they support Jordan.
Jordan.
I mean,
Gosar.
it came from big organizations
Jordan.
pushing it.
Gottheimer.
There was a real pushback against
Jeffries.
kind of threatening.
Granger.
So we'll see if who actually
Scalise.
holds out this thing. Got a ways to go, folks. Got a ways to go with the voting there. You're looking at 70 for Jordan,
Graves of
7 for
Louisiana.
Jeffries, 12 for other.
Jordan.
Oh,
Graves of Missouri. Jordan.
let's see where it goes, huh? Right?
Green of Tennessee. Jordan. Green of Texas. Jeffries. Green of Georgia. Jordan.
Green of
Griffith.
Georgia.
Jordan.
I don't know why
Grijalva.
this rubbed me wrong. Actually, I do know.
Jeffries.
I'm self-aware.
Grothman.
Oh my gosh.
Grothman. Jordan.
This is fascinating. To me, this is
Guest.
fascinating to watch. It's kind of boring. Oh, guess.
Jordan. Guthrie. Jordan. Hageman. Jordan. Harder of California. Jeffries. Harris. Jordan. Harshbarger. Jordan. Hayes.
Wow, it's really.
Jeffries.
I mean, it's kind of boring.
Kern.
Also very fascinating to watch this
Jordan.
in action, right? Wow.
Higgins of Louisiana.
If you're watching and listening to all that kind of stuff,
Jordan.
share it on the screen.
Higgins of New York.
Let me do something else here.
Jeffries.
Quickly. I need to find something.
Hill.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Jordan. Himes.
Why is it important to
Jeffries.
watch this?
Henson. Jordan. Horsford.
Oh.
Jeffries. Houchin. Jordan. Houlihan. Jeffries. Hoyer. Jeffries. Hoyle of Oregon. Jeffries. Hudson. Jordan. Huffman. Jeffries.
That's probably about as boring as it
Huizinga.
I'll keep an eye on it, and as we get closer to
Jordan.
share some more about it, okay? So everybody can see this. And by the way, just to be clear, that podcast was from C-SPAN. Make sure you check that. It's a C-SPAN live video from the House of Representatives. Okay. Anyway, forgot to do it now. That's what- So anyway, let me go back over here since you're watching what we're doing. Um, about halfway through the voting, essentially for Speaker of the House. Right now, it's Jordan 91, Jeffries 92, others are 13, and so we already know that people are putting others in there that Jordan is not going to win today's voting round. Okay, so it's very fascinating to watch. So the video I watched yesterday from this lawyer. Oh wait, what the hell happened? Back up. Holy crap! I don't know where this is. It's going to be fun to see what we have going on here. Oh my gosh, y'all. Jordan voted for Jordan. That's what it was a minute ago. I think Jeffrey's voting for himself. Jordan voted for himself. Oh my gosh, y'all. So anyway, back up. It's fun to watch all those things. I hope y'all like it. To me, it's fascinating to see how this process actually works out, and it also is fascinating to see all the dynamics that have to take place to actually govern effectively. And right now, it's not happening. It's not happening at all. So I'm going to hang in on that and just kind of watch the show. You can watch it if you'd like to. Put it back live again because I'm going to have to step out for just 1 second. Got to take care of something personal. Hope you don't mind. Let me see. Representatives, share the screen right there.
Boehner.
So, what, who are watching? What you're looking at, folks, is the House of Representatives as they vote for
Kana.
Speaker of the House. This is live from C-SPAN, okay? Just so you know.
Kana. Jeffries. Kiggins of Virginia.
Chickens of Virginia.
McCarthy. Kildee. Jeffries. Kiley. Jordan. Kilmer. Jeffries. Kim of California. Jordan. Kim of New Jersey. Jeffries. Krishnamurthy. Jeffries. Custer. Jeffries. Kustoff. Jordan. LaHood. Jordan. LaLota. Zeldin. LaMalfa. Jordan. Lamborn. Lamborn, Jordan. Landsman, Jeffries. Langworthy, Jordan. Larson of Washington, Jeffries. Larson of Connecticut, Jeffries. Latta, Jordan. LaTurner, Jordan. Lawler,
Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
McCarthy. Lee of California, Jeffries. Lee of Florida, Jordan. Lee of Nevada, Jeffries. Lee of Pennsylvania, Jeffries. Ledger Fernandez, Jeffries. Lesko, Jordan. Letlow, Jordan. Levin, Jeffries. Liu, Jeffries. Lofgren, Jeffries. Loudermilk,
Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Lucas, Jordan. Luke Kameyer, Jordan. Luna, Jordan. Latrell, Jordan. Lynch, Jeffries. Mace, Jordan. Magaziner, Jeffries. Maliotakis, Jordan. Mann, Jordan. Manning, Jeffries. Massey, Jordan. Mast, Jordan. Matsui, Jeffries. McBath, Jeffries. McCarthy, Jordan. McCall, Jordan. McLean, Jordan. McClellan, Jeffries. McClintock, Jordan. McCollum, Jeffries. McCormick, Jordan. McGarvey, Jeffries. McGovern, Jeffries. McHenry, Jordan. Meeks, Jeffries. Menendez, Jeffries. Ming, Jeffries. Muser, Jordan. Mfume, Jeffries. Miller of Illinois, Jordan. Miller of Ohio, Jordan. Miller of West Virginia, Jordan. Miller Meeks, Granger. Mills, Jordan. Molinaro, Jordan. Molinar, Jordan. Mooney, Jordan. Moore of Alabama. Jordan. Moore of Utah. Jordan. Moore of Wisconsin. Jeffries. Moran. Jordan. Morelli. Jeffries. Moskowitz. Jeffries. Moulton. Jeffries. Mervan. Jeffries. Mullen. Jeffries. Murphy. Jordan. Nadler. Jeffries. Napolitano. Jeffries. Neal. Jeffries. Nagus. Jeffries. Nels. Jordan. Newhouse. Jordan. Nickel. Jeffries. Norcross. Jeffries. Norman. Jordan. Nunn of Iowa. Jordan. Obernolte. Jordan. Ocasio-Cortez. Jeffries. Ogles. Jordan. Omar. Jeffries. Owens. Jordan. Pallone. Jeffries. Palmer. Jordan. Panetta. Jeffries. Pappas. Jeffries. Pasquarel. Jeffries. Payne. Payne. Pelosi. Jeffries. Peltola. Jeffries. Pence. Jordan. Perez. Perez. Jeffries. Perry. Jordan. Peters. Jeffries. Pedersen. Jeffries. Pfluger. Jordan. Phillips. Jeffries. Pingree. Jeffries. Pocan. Jeffries. Porter. Jeffries. Posey. Jordan. Presley. Jeffries. Quigley. Jeffries. Ramirez. Jeffries. Raskin. Jeffries. Reschenthaler. Jordan. Rogers of Washington. Jordan. Rogers of Alabama. Jordan. Rogers of Kentucky. Jordan. Rose. Jordan. Rosendale. Jordan. Ross. Jeffries. Rouser. Jordan. Roy. Jordan. Ruiz. Jeffries. Rupersberger. Jeffries. Rutherford. Scalise. Ryan. Jeffries. Salazar. Jordan. Salinas. Jeffries. Sanchez. Jeffries. Santos. Jordan. Sarbanes. Jeffries. Scalise. Jordan. Scanlon. Jeffries. Schakowsky. Jeffries. Schiff. Jeffries. Schneider. Jeffries. Skolton. Jeffries. Schreier. Jeffries. Schweikert. Jordan. Austin Scott. Jordan. David Scott. Jeffries. Scott of Virginia. Jeffries. Self. Jordan. Sessions. Jordan. Sewell. Jeffries. Sherman. Jeffries. Sherrill. Jeffries. Simpson. Scalise. Slotkin. Jeffries. Smith of Missouri. Jordan. Smith of Nebraska. Jordan. Smith of New Jersey. Jordan. Smith of Washington. Jeffries. Smucker. Jordan. Sorensen. Jeffries. Soto. Jeffries. Spanberger. Jeffries. Sparts. Sparts. Stansberry. Jeffries. Stanton. Jeffries. Stauber. Westerman. Steele. Jordan. Stefanik. Jordan. Style. Jordan. Stubbe. Jordan. Stevens. Jeffries. Strickland. Jeffries. Strong. Jordan. Swalwell. Jeffries. Sykes. Jeffries. Takano. Jeffries. Tenney. Jordan. Tanadar. Jeffries. Thompson of California. Jeffries. Thompson of Mississippi. Jeffries. Thompson of Pennsylvania. Jordan. Tiffany. Jordan. Timmons, Jordan. Titus, Jeffries. Talib, Talib. Takuda, Jeffries. Tonko, Jeffries. Torres of California, Jeffries. Torres of New York, Jeffries. Trahan, Jeffries. Trone, Trone. Turner, Jordan. Underwood, Jeffries. Valadeo, Jordan. Van Drew,
The Honorable Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Van Dyne, Jordan. Van Orden, Jordan. Vargas, Jeffries. Vasquez, Jeffries. Vesey, Jeffries. Velasquez, Jeffries. Wagner, Jordan. Wahlberg, Jordan. Waltz, Jordan. Wasserman Schultz, Jeffries. Waters, Jeffries. Watson Coleman, Jeffries. Weber of Texas, Jordan. Webster of Florida, Jordan. Winstrup, Jordan. Westerman, Jordan. Wexton, Jeffries. Wild, Jeffries. Williams of Georgia, Jeffries. Williams of New York, Jordan. Williams of Texas, Jordan. Wilson of Florida, Jeffries. Wilson of South Carolina, Jordan. Whitman, Jordan. Womack, Scalise. Yakum, Jordan. Zinke,
Jim Jordan of Ohio.
Jordan.
You gotta go back through. I got Payne missing. I got Sparks missing. And I got Talib missing. And Trey. Okay. So you should have 4 missing.
Holy crap, y'all. You're watching this thing right now.
This one is gonna be Mr.
Holy crap. This is really, truly amazing.
So she'll call and nature person.
No. Do they? I don't know. Do they actually give the Jeffries the gavel? Let's see what happens. I got like 3 minutes.
The reading clerk will now call the names of the members who did not answer the first call of the roll.
Payne. Jeffries.
Okay, Sparks.
Sparts. Jordan.
See, 199. Okay, leave.
Talib. Jeffries.
Wow.
Trone.
Just stunned.
Jeffries.
Holy shit. What does that mean? Anybody? Jeffries has 213 votes. Jordan has 198. 22 people voted for others. Wow. Hope I can stick around. I'm going to have to go get the other thing started here in just a second. The other program I've got set up to run. Geez, this is really, really interesting. Wow. What's next? Did they actually give the gavel to Jeffries? We'll see. I don't know. I don't really know. This is definitely an interesting place to be, right? Anyway, I've got to get out of here. I'm going to keep this running in the background. I may break back in, do a live continuation of this in just a minute, but I've got another show I've got to get kicked off in about 2 minutes. So with that, I just want to tell everyone, hang tight. I'll give you a breaking story coming in whenever we can, okay? So I need to end the stream and actually go back to setting the other program up. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.